Who do you want to do the item tracker for? You pick one person, I'll do the other one.
I'll do my friend Andy.
I'll do Big Andy then.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy. This timer. Oh, this might be synced up to SRL, maybe. That's trouble. For the person who has to do the synchronization. Commentator bias. Heads up, I'm friends with Andy with a 4. So I'm going to be rooting for him a little bit. But it does mean I know a little bit about his history with the randomizer. Which I think is not very long. He picked up this game fairly recently. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but he's put up the second best time in the tournament so far, a 129. So he knows what he's doing.
Already getting a key item right off the bat with the Cane of Samaria.
I have no idea how to put this to use in the early game.
You don't. It doesn't do very much damage. So there aren't really too many instances where it will be super useful early game. Andy getting that bomb drop from a green guard as well.
He sure did. Bombs are important early on in the escape because there is a bombable wall. I guess you could also boots it, but you need to get through a cracked wall to get 3 chests in the escape, and it's a lot faster to get them now so that you don't have to come back later. Early heart container goes a long way. When you've only got 3 hearts, 1 container increases your max health by 33%.
bigzizio not moving quite high enough up to make the guards not notice him in that last room. Other than that, the escape is pretty normal. Gotta go through, kill some guards, get some keys. The big game changers that you can find in the escape early would be either the mirror or the boots. With the mirror, you can actually use it once you get Zelda to go back to the beginning of Hyrule Castle. Saves like a minute. Other than that, you gotta just go through the motions.
An idea I thought was especially cool was if you had the cape or Master Sword or higher, you could go do Agahnim with Zelda in tow, but it turns out the door is locked in Randomizer until you safely deliver Zelda to Sanctuary.
That got done because if you happen to do Agahnim before the rain sequence is done, the lumberjack cutscene the lumberjack sequence never progresses. So if there was in fact something there, you'd get soft locked.
Well, that's no fun. So both players with bombs, they're both going to be able to check these 3 chests later on in Escape. We're not going to have a disparity there. As a viewer of these races, I'm always looking for when the players do things differently. That's when things get really interesting. Someone finds a fire rod that the other person doesn't have, but that person found the hammer, and so it can lead to some interesting situations. It can be hard to tell who's ahead a lot of the time, but I think that's most exciting. But for now, both players, as you can expect this early on, still very much following the same route. players choosing not to fight anything. If you don't have any bombs at this point, you'll usually be doing a lot of fighting here to get those bombs. Q-Rat comes down for bigzizio, small time save, handy as well. And here we go, 3 chests.
I'm guessing absolutely nothing. Ooh,
Yep, absolutely nothing.
I was wrong. Getting the boots and escape. This is a nice seed. Andy, depending upon how everything else plays out, this could be another pretty solid time.
Also, it looks like Andy is caught up here. He was trailing a little bit in the escape.
Frame for frame.
Yep. And he actually is just a hair ahead at the end of the escape.
And Titan's mitts in Sanctuary. What is going on? Wow. So, right off the bat, Andy is making a good choice in going to the King's Grave. That way he doesn't have to double back for this later. Gosh, 502 bad gateway, unbelievable.
So that is like he just got those boots and those mitts. So you don't have too much time to think about what you want to do, especially because early on you're usually very, very used to kind of following this route, or maybe you go to Lumberjack Cave, Lost Woods. You definitely want to go to Kakariko. You know, there's 2 really main routes you want to do from there. So props to Andy for recognizing what those items can do for him right away, and checking some of these locations that you typically are not able to.
Agahnim required seed with the hammer being in Lumberjack.
This is a fun seed.
So basically, whenever they get a better sword or the cape, they're going to be heading straight to Aghanim's tower.
Yeah, the hammer is a high priority item. Opens up a ton of things.
No reason, especially with already having the boots, there's really no reason to delay beating Agahnim once you have the ability to.
Lost Woods items, just some rupees. Both players have seen that hammer. Not everyone opts to check the Agahnim item. Good thing these guys did. So Zizio's first to Kakariko. I'm sorry, Big Andy is first to Kakariko. He's going to be the first one to start raiding all of the chests that are here. Did he mess up this puzzle?
No, I didn't.
I think he's still okay. No, he is going to leave.
He was definitely okay, but he just did it in interesting order. With him pushing that that right side block downwards, he would have had to leave the little chest area from the same side he went in. Well, it looks like he's got it this time. Oh, okay. There we go. Ooh, nice 80 rupee increase from that bumble wall.
Ruby's also an important item early on. If you don't have bombs, you can buy them, but otherwise you've got 100 for the merchant, and of course there's the big 500 that you want for the Zora King item. They're not quite in the 500 range, but sometimes you find those 300 rupees early on, and suddenly that becomes a factor very early on. Boomerang not going to do too much for him.
AND4H went to the grave, but it was nothing important, unfortunately.
Merchant has silver arrows. Definitely want to go say hi to him.
No bottle yet for the sick kid. So both runners will have to make a note of that for later, just in case.
I definitely saw Zizio get the silver arrows. Did Andy skip it? The rupee counts are pretty similar, so I want to say he probably got it.
Yeah, I would think he got it.
Andy checks the race item, doesn't want anything to do with it, saves and quits out. He's going to be heading down to the Lake Hylia loop here.
This is usually the second spot you check after Kakariko. Get the swamp chests and the swamp drain item, along with the 5 items from the worst cave in the game.
So Zizio did not save and quit. He's just gonna boots on over there. And Andy finding a ton of rupees here in the dam. That's gonna
Andy
put,
also messing up this very complicated block puzzle. It gets the best of us sometimes.
Zizio opting not to look at the swamp. He's going right to this Moldorm cave. This is pretty much the big reason why you want to do this route after Kakariko.
There are some arguments to do it before. Well, an argument, which is to try and get a bottle before heading to Kakariko, so you can clear out the entirety of White World Kakariko in one swoop. I don't subscribe to that theory, but some people do.
Well, this time it had a bottle, so it would have probably been the better play, not to mention the flippers. Now, Big Zizio skipped the swamp and the dam area, so he did not get those 300 rupees. Andy looking better and better to head up to Zora's River now. He can get both the ledge item and the 500 rupee item. Zizio kind of low on life here. Probably going to be a save and quit soon, but making us nervous. No save and quit. He's putting those flippers to use.
Both of them getting the red shield will help him out a little bit in the blind fight mostly.
It helped me out the other day. We had a fun little thing where Andy showed me the ropes for Randomizer, and I had to do the blind fight, and I had not practiced the sort of script you can follow on that fight where you get the easy 3 hits and then the next 3. So I was in the middle of the room running around like crazy, and I blocked like 10 fireballs with that red shield, so I was super happy to have that. Hobo's got nothing for either player, which makes sense. They are on the same seed. And I'm pretty sure Zizio was first to reach the Hobo, but due to just slower menuing, Andy is surpassed him here by just a little bit. I mean, we're talking seconds in a race that can swing by minutes based off of randomness, basically. But I still like pointing out these little things. Andy's got money and flippers. He's going to be heading up to Zora's River, whereas Zizio is going to check out this bottle item.
It's going to be a pretty big early decision for Andy, considering Zizio did not go to the swamp screen yet. Neither of them have looked at their map yet, so we don't know what crystals are in the light world, if any.
Oh, I looked away, but someone in chat is yelling hook shot, so I think also blue tunic. Oh,
just blue tunic.
Yeah.
No,
like, oh, it couldn't have been both. Oh, just a blue tunic, an expensive blue tunic. But you don't have too many hearts, and they've got a lot of dungeons left to play. So blue tunic will do some work here. Not the worst thing you can find.
Let's see what the silent old man has to give us. There's the very useful power glove.
You can put that on the other hand so that it's not so uneven when you're lifting things. Or maybe your hands are cold. It gets cold up there on Deathmount. So thanks, old man, for that. Oh, wait, bigzizio with the big jump down.
So while you're in the spin speed glitch state, if you even touch a ledge, you will jump off of it automatically. We got a little peek at the butter sword up there on Spectacle Rock and the master sword inside of Spectacle Rock.
So you can go out of your way for a master sword now, which might help you get to Agahnim, which we know is required. So I think it is probably a good idea to go get it. But if you were feeling really saucy, you could try to wait until you had the mirror come back and just go right to butter. Don't think either player's going to do that, though.
So at this point, bigzizio could just be like, hey, I'm going to go do Agahnim now, which he does not elect to do. Considering what Andy has checked already, he might choose to do that since he's checked quite a bit more of the available light worlds than Zizio has.
Zizio dashing right past the graveyard. I forget if he got a chance to check that item.
Zizio has not checked yet, so it looks like Andy is going to do Agahnim, which is a pretty solid play. And it looks like bigzizio has changed his mind and decided to do that now as well. So what this will end up doing is it will open up the Castle Bridge Dark World Warp. It will also let them get the Pyramid item, which can be fairly useful sometimes. Then it'll also get them the Hammer, which will open up pretty much every Dark World Warp in the game once they get the Moon Pearl.
So that Moon Pearl is becoming an increasingly valuable item for these players to have. I mean, it's always pretty darn good to have, but with the rest of the items they have, that complements the Moon Pearl very, very well. Aghanim's Tower, most players want to avoid it if they can. I mean, for the fact that it can be totally unrequired. But there's no items here. Every chest is just another key to keep progressing through the tower.
And luckily, in the randomizer, all actual RNG in the normal game is taken out for the most part. Major pieces of RNG. So the 2 heart piece games and Agahnim blue balls are all normalized so that you lose as little time to RNG as possible.
Zizio making up some ground on Andy here with his combat through Aghanim's tower.
Zizio having a really good Aghanim's tower.
Both players have those silver arrows, but no bow to put them to use. That's a shame for a sequence like Aghanim's tower.
Lonely arrow.
I mean, those things do so much damage. You'd probably do pretty good just holding the silver arrow and just poking things with it.
You'd think. It should be at least, like gold sword damage.
Yeah.
So with the Aghanim fight, if you can, you're gonna want to try to knock Aghanim as close to the middle of the room as possible for a hit. After he gets hit, he warps to some random spot in the room, and hitting him towards the middle kind of, decreases the chance that he'll be moving entirely across the screen.
Every fifth phase is lightning. Normally there's more to it. Normally there's a guarantees a reflectable shot, and then after that it's 50-50 whether or not there's a blue ball. But like we said, Randomizer has taken out the blue balls because you cannot reflect those, so every blue ball you get just drags the fight on. And every fifth shot is lightning, so you can't reflect that either. So we got a pair of bunnies. We're checking the pyramid item.
And
it is
Moon Pearl.
Wow. Someone in chat called it for sure. The world is now their oyster.
So, interestingly enough, picking up an item as the bunny is normally not possible in the vanilla game. So that actually breaks the bunny state and actually puts Link into what we call a super bunny state, which allows the bunny to do anything that normal Link would be able to do. Slash a sword, dash, pick objects up. Unfortunately, bigzizio taking a death from the ropa there.
With no mirror, is this going to put him back to the light world?
Yes, it will. Oh.
Except it doesn't. Death warp's different from save and quit?
I guess so. That is interesting. I didn't know that. But yes, unfortunately, Super Bunny is of no use on that ledge because all you can do is jump off. If that wasn't the Moon Pearl, then you would regain normal bunny state once you jumped off the ledge.
Catfish has the bow. These players are not wanting for much of anything in this seed.
Yeah, pretty good decision making from both sides so far. Andy finally looking at his map.
Pendant Dungeon was Eastern and also Hera, I think?
Yes, and I think Hera was the green pendant. And then Desert was Thursday.
Normally you see that bow and you think, oh good, I can do Eastern. And then you see that Pendant Dungeon, and now you gotta be thinking twice. Bees! Bees for Andy! Do not hit that. Okay.
Andy coming up to get the hammer real quick. And then that opens up a lot of stuff for Andy. He can go check Height Cave, he can go check Darkwold Kakariko. The only big thing not accessible to either player yet is Eastside Death Mountain.
So where does Andy the commentator go with this item set?
I probably go with what Andy is doing and go into Darkwold Kakariko. Although, he's going to check Sick Kid first since he didn't do that earlier. He had bombs, I believe.
There it is. Zizio not bunging into that tree.
But either way, since they do have Titansmiths, it honestly doesn't really matter that much. which way they decided to go to first. Since you can make a pretty easy loop to everything from Dark World Kakariko to just to Southern Hyrule in the Dark World pretty quickly, either way.
Other pendant dungeon is Misery Mire with an early King of Samaria. Maybe that's not what you wanted to see, but then again, that dungeon kind of sucks, so maybe you're okay with it.
Let's see if Andy opts to go back in the chess game to get some more rupees, and he does, realizing he only had 35. There's a nice 200 right there. So he does have enough to do the digging game now. Digging game costing a pretty steep 80 rupees to play. It's like Zizio opting to go the other way, hitting up Hype Cave first. Let's see what he gets here.
Hype Cave, pretty hype. There's still a fair number of items they don't have. Just that every item they do have is very, very good. So there's a pretty good chance something's going to be in here.
There's
Get hype.
Flute and the hook shot.
And the hook shot.
That's a pretty good find.
That East Death Mountain you were talking about opened up now. Andy went straight into Thieves Town. He's got the mitts and the hammer he needs to clear this place out, and it is a crystal dungeon, and he was right there, so why not get it done?
Andy finding ether in Thieves Town. Don't know if it's needed yet, but
nice to have all the same.
Zizio coming to unlock the flute. So you just have to be inside the hedge square somewhere for the flute cutscene to start. Your entire sprite. Which is a little weird coming from the top because you can't really tell where the back of your sprite is. But you don't have to be close to the Weatherbane at all.
Ooh, Andy dashes right to the middle of the hellway and gets the lucky needs to dash straight through it, making that room look trivial. You can get stuck there for quite a while. Meanwhile, Zizio putting that hook shot to use. We'll see what Death Mountain has in store for him.
Andy with the blue bottle. That could come in handy later. Although they're looking pretty good on health so far this early. But with magic, you never know.
Yep, they don't have half or quarter magic, so that thing can drain pretty quick. Zizio's main advantage over Andy is having hit the Hype Cave early. So in this area that only he can reach for now, finding something here that can let him progress is pretty big for him.
He gets Brian. That gives him the ability to check the Cane of Burna Cave now as well, if he so chooses. Opting not to attempt the bomb jump though. It's a pretty time-saving bomb jump, so. Also opting to not check the Spiral Cave at the top of East Death Mountain in the Light World before coming to the Dark World, so he will have to save and quit and come check that some other time if he chooses to do so.
Andy heading into the blind fight. He's pretty low on health. He's going for the LCD blind trick and he gets it.
Getting the least time losing, but also the worst color palette change. Unfortunately, the good colors like the dark blue and the rich purple cause the prayer sequence to also start, so it takes a little while. Ooh, and bigzizio finding Fire Rod in Dark World Death Mountain.
If he decides to head to Dark Kakariko, which is a pretty good bet in his situation, that's going to let him do Thieves Town and Skull Woods back to back. So his routing here might work out in his favor. Then again, it's pretty easy to get to Skullwood, so not a huge advantage. Andy finding a mirror.
C-shaped house coming in big. I also noticed that Turtle Rock is pennant number 6, or crystal number 6, so hopefully the Fat Fairy won't have to come into play this time. But the way the colorblind glitch works is normally when you enter a boss room, the boss is already loaded and the boss cutscene, which is like the door closing and things like that, starts automatically. But with blind, the boss isn't actually in the room right when you start off. So if you dash up into the light and select while you're towards the top of the light, the select button actually interrupts the boss starting sequence, and that messes with the game. I'm not exactly sure why why it changes the color palettes depending upon when you do it, but it also leaves the door open, so you can accidentally leave the fight in the middle of it. Which actually happened to Christos Owen during one of the old ZSR marathons back in 2013 or 2014.
Huh. So Zizio heading to Eastern. He's got he's heading to Sarasra. Eastern's a pendant dungeon, so I don't know if we'll see him do that. But a lot of items here in this cave. He's got the money for King Zora now. He might decide to head up that way.
He also hasn't checked the King's Grave yet, I don't believe.
And he's not done with Dark World Kakariko area, heading to the digging game. It costs a lot of money, but you'll typically make it up with all these red rupees. Not that they have much need for rupees at this point.
The only thing they still need rupees for is Palace of Darkness, which is just 110. If they do have to buy the Super Bomb, that is another 100. But as I said, with crystal number 6 being Turtle Rock, the only way to get the Super Bomb is to obtain crystals 5 and 6. So hopefully that won't come into play.
Yeah, for such a great seed to start out on, it would take a pretty nasty turn if Turtle Rock was required simply for the Super Bomb item.
And Andy coming to visit the stump guy, getting the mushroom.
I think the mushroom is my favorite item to find, because it's got a very unique looking sprite, so you see it and you're like, ooh, and then you're like, wait, I have no idea how to feel about this because it could be anything.
And bigzizio getting the mirror. I'm pretty sure. I looked away for a second, but saw him walking away from the C-shaped house.
And Andy's coming upon Hype Cave, so he's going to find that flute and hookshot combination. We'll see if that leads him to the Fire Rod up on Death Mountain.
Okay, so the digging game is normally completely RNG based, but in Randomizer, they've set it so that you always get the item on the 15th dig, and the item always pops out like the heart piece normally does. Every item that you dig up normally pops like a tile and a half out after a bounce, and the heart piece bounces like 3.5 tiles away. So it's pretty easy to tell just by the way it comes out of the hole.
Oh, good point. Andy's going to have the mirror for his trip up to Death Mountain, so he's going to be able to pick up the butter sword while he's there. If he heads that way. He's unlocking the flute. I feel like it's a pretty good bet that that's his next spot.
Andy will probably head up West Side Mountain mirror and then just use the hammer to get to the east side. Also, probably checking Spiral Cave since he's going that way as well. Which, if that chest is something important, that could be pretty big for Andy in terms of taking the lead over Zizio.
Before he does that, he's going to turn in that mushroom. We'll see what the witch has in store for him. Just some arrows. Sure enough, Andy off to Death Mountain. Just getting through there. Almost blocked by that squirrel. Activating spin speed here. One of the best places to do it.
You can also get the spin speed state by hookshot dashing, which is just using the hookshot and dashing at the same time. Also doing another sort of variant of it on the manual staircase, where if you have your sword held out and hookshot dashed while you're on the stairs, you will actually gain faster movement up the staircase. Andy coming to check Burna Cave first.
He's gonna need these potions.
He hasn't found Cane of Burna like Zizio has, so he actually needed both of those potions for this to be doable. All for a heart piece.
Save and quit there, taking him to the pyramid. Not really an option to just walk back out of the cave. And this time he is blocked by the squirrel.
Now, normally you can like either dash left or right to despawn them so that they aren't solid anymore, but there actually isn't enough room on the left side of that screen to despawn that dead rock. Purple chest having a heart piece as well, so both players taking an interesting gamble and it not paying off. Zizio finally checking Swamp Cave as well. Only has to take one trip because he already has the mirror.
That's right, it's a weird thing you can do, but if you use the mirror while a pushed block is moving from one tile to the other, it just kind of disappears. I think it has something to do with the fact that blocks kind of switch from background objects to sprites while they are moving.
Andy going into Hero while bigzizio checks out the Meyer Dark World screen.
Now Hera is a pendant dungeon, right?
Yes, it is the green pendant, I believe. Ooh, bigzizio getting the book from West Meyer Cave. Don't know if that's necessary or not, but it's still good to have. Also didn't see if he got a glimpse of what medallion was needed there.
He probably did. He's been a pretty solid player so far. Neither player's found it. Oh no, never mind. bigzizio has the fire rod. Andy opted to go into Hera before exploring East Death Mountain. He would have preferred to come here with that fire rod, so if there was an item in the basement, he would have an object to light those torches.
Meanwhile, bigzizio getting bombs from our good buddy Agahnim. Fortunately, not really of any use at this point. And Buttersword making quick work of Moldorm.
Moldorm has the bug net, so I think that's going to indicate to Andy that the basement item is not something he needs. So he doesn't have to worry about coming back with a fire source. Good news for him, he's also got that green pendant, so if he wants, he can go see Shmar Shmar and maybe get something for his troubles.
bigzizio heading into his first Crystal Dungeon desert. Has boots and a fire source, so he can successfully complete this all in one go. Desert has been coming up pretty big with key items, whether it was a pendant or a crystal in some of these races, so this could be fairly lucrative.
Hopefully the slideshow on Andy's stream is resolved at some point, but we do get to see he has acquired the cape. A little bit too late, as he already did burn a cave and drank both of those potions. The blueberry and the strawberry. That cape, one of the things that Zizio skipped on his trip to Death Mountain.
Luckily nothing too big for bigzizio to miss, since he already has Cane of Burna, so if he doesn't remember it, it's not the worst thing in the world. As I recall, nothing too exciting in this cave, but once he gets into the Dark World... Oh, Cane of Burna was in that cave, okay.
That's exciting.
bigzizio getting a bottle with a fairy in it in the Desert Big Chest. That could play a big part later.
Yeah, he has not been to King Zora, so he still has that green tunic. And if he doesn't go, he's going to be walking into some of these Dark World dungeons soon. Those tend to do a lot of damage. Green tunic can get you messed up real good.
I didn't get to see what was on the lower desert ledge when bigzizio fluted here earlier.
Andy's got some extra money, so he's going to go ahead and refill one of his bottles with some red potion while he's there. Using that hookshot glitch to get to the other side of that block without resetting the room.
bigzizio getting the nice key dash in the double Beamos room as well.
And here is the fire rod for Andy.
There we go. Alright, Zizio remembering he has silver arrows. As long as he lands the first one, should be able to make quick work of the Lamelas.
Andy takes a peek at Turtle Rock. It's going to be Bombos required, so he is not in go mode. He needs to track down the Bombos medallion. Oh, and the ice rod. And maybe even the book.
Alright, first crystal down for bigzizio. I know for a fact that AND4H can do lampless, as he's done it before. I think he's fairly decent at it, but I'm not entirely sure.
When he first learned this game, there's a ton of safety items that a lot of players opt to pick up. I'm talking about the no major glitches category, your typical vanilla Link to the Past. A lot of players will get the magic powder or maybe even a bottle and a bug net, so that they can supply themselves with fairies as they go, because it's a hard run. You skip the blue tunic, so you have the green tunic for a long time. It's very easy to just die, and that feels bad. But Andy said, "No, that's lame." He said, "That's a waste of time, and I don't want to do it." So right away, he went with all the hardest strats, and so I'm not surprised that Andy, knowing how much time you can save by knowing how to do these dark rooms, opted to learn how to do it. Meanwhile, he's got that Bombos medallion, and that could be almost everything he needs. Just this ice rod. He's got a lot of dungeons still, so we'll see if he finds the ice rod in one of these dungeons as he goes.
Yeah, Hera required could be a pretty big play for Andy. Bigzizio could be looking all over the place for that Bombos medallion before checking Hera.
Zizio heading into Lost Woods and switching to the book. He's going to be checking this Master Sword item.
Ooh. Could this be the ice rod that I've always dreamed of?
That would turn a wonderful seed into one of the trolliest in one fell swoop. I mean, Green Pendant required Bombos is a little trolly, but compared with how nice everything else was, I would call this a pretty average seed. But maxing
it's
out
Quake.
It's Quake.
So I didn't get a glimpse of what Mire requires, but if Quake is required for Mire, then it is going to turn into an all bosses run, which would make the Bombos medallion at Sahasrahla not as big of an advantage as we thought.
Well, assuming Mire has an item like the Ice Rod, because I think it is a pendant dungeon.
Oh, is it a pendant?
I think
Mire's
so.
not needed. Interesting. I misread the map.
I mean, maybe I did, so we'll see. But yeah, there's a couple if statements, and if they line up, we have an amazing seed.
It'd be nice if this seed was an actual all bosses seed, unlike the one I did yesterday.
By choice, all bosses eliminated. Oh, right. If Mire is pendant, then you couldn't possibly need Quake to get in there.
It's like bigzizio might be opting to do Thieves Town finally. Oh, maybe not. He might be going to check. Ooh, going to Skullwoods first. Interesting.
Yep, he's got that fire rod. He's going to be the first one to check this out, so he could happen upon the ice rod in here. Probably more likely to be in Palace of Darkness, though. Palace of Darkness has, I think, one more item chest than Skullwoods. 5 to 4? Am I making that up?
What? Sorry.
How many item chests does Skullwoods have?
2.
2. Okay, so Palace of Darkness far more lucrative than Skullwoods.
Oh yes. Skullwoods having the shovel though.
Could be everything, could be nothing. I love these ambiguous trade items. So here's Andy in the dark. I was going to make some comment about how he is doing, but I can't tell.
He's taking an interesting approach and not using his sword to tell where he is. He's using pretty much everything but, which I don't know if it's more useful or faster or not, but does not seem like it. He might be trying to. He's trying to find. Is there even a torch in this room? I don't think so.
I'm the wrong person to ask. I know the big strokes.
Oh, he wasn't even where I thought he was. He was all he was doing. I thought he was in the maze. He was making such interesting movements that I thought he was in the maze.
Maybe he thought he was in the maze. Who knows?
But so all he was doing was trying to light the torch.
Well, that's gonna help him in the next dark room. Andy finds the lantern. That's kind of trolly. If you were uncomfortable, if you were afraid of the dark, and you didn't want to come here without the lantern, that would have really tripped you up.
Yeah, lamp being deep in Palace of Darkness is pretty bad. A lot of people will choose not to go into Palace of Darkness until they get the lamp, just because to get 4 or maybe 5 chests if you can't do the bomb jump without the lamp is a pretty significant amount. And Zizio lifting up the pots underneath that bridge. Interestingly enough, normally you'd think that there's walls underneath this bridge that make you sort of zigzag it, but they're actually just skull pots that you can lift up, so you can kind of just get around having to zigzag it.
Oh yeah, chat pointing out they've had the King of Samaria since forever, so it's not really the first thing on their mind, but you can use that to speed up some of these puzzles, like the statue pushing one here in Skull Woods, and Zizio did not put it to use. Snipes the Gibdo from across the room with the fire rod. Also, he opted to use his red potion before coming into the second half of Skull Woods here, and I was curious if it was a missed menu to the fire rod. Probably not. Usually you see right away that you selected the wrong thing, but possible. Only has the Master Sword and no magic to use the fire rod here on Mothula, so he's going to have to work for this a little bit. Does get it down. Pretty impressive fight.
Kill. Also getting the big key. I'm not sure if he's gotten both the map and the compass yet, or what his small key counter would like. There are a lot of small key chests in Skull Woods.
Andy's into the Helmasaur fight with the Butter Sword. This is going to be pretty easy, but the sword doesn't help you get this mask off. Still takes the full 17.
Yep. 17 hammer hits and then 2 gold sword slashes or 1 silver arrow. Ooh, bigzizio getting the ice rod from Skullwood's big chest.
And that was the big key was the Mothula had it, so it does require a trip back in there. Pretty easy to get over to that big chest. So, it's not too discouraging to have to go back into the dungeon, such that Andy will likely skip it. But who knows? He may. That could be a really big pitfall that he
has actually happened once in this tournament already, with a major item being in the Skullwoods big chest. It was the mirror, actually, and the big key dropping from Mothula. So we'll see if that plays a part.
So both players have one major advantage on each other. Bigzizio's got this ice rod in an awkward location, and Andy has bombos that he got from the awkward location of the Sahasrara item. It's a really big question mark how long it takes either player to find that item, and it could just decide the race.
Andy doing Eastern is interesting. It'd be a second pendant for him, but he also doesn't know what's in the Master Sword pedestal, so he doesn't know that he actually doesn't need the pendants.
Zizio checking the ledge item in the Dark World, the entrance to Death Mountain.
Also, dancing around with those red birds a little bit is not fun. They do a lot of damage.
Yeah, too much damage. So Zizio's coming into this area near the graveyard in the Light World. He's in the Dark World, of course, but we'll see if he sweeps through. Oh, he's already got the tomb item. I forgot. But we'll see what he finds in here. I don't think anything required. I think we know where all the required items are at this point.
He will take that heart container, though.
At 11 heart containers, blue mail, knowing where the butter sword is, some players may see that heart and turn up their noses, would rather take a couple seconds. I'm not one of those players, and it seems Bigzizio isn't either.
Alright, Zizio possibly opting to do Thieves Town this time. I thought he was going to do it earlier. I'm also surprised Zizio hasn't gone back up Death Mountain to get the gold sword.
That's right. He knows it's there. He knows he has the items to get it. And he knows there's a couple places on Death Mountain that he did not check.
Especially with the book, he has the Ether Tablet he can check. Along with that, Hair is a fairly quick dungeon as long as you're not forced to go into the basement to get the big key. So hopefully, if and when he realizes that he could get the gold sword and check a couple things, he'll take a quick trip into Hera.
And what a good move that would be for him. He doesn't know it. The green pendant that Hera has is required for Bombos to get into Turtle Rock. Andy's going to check out Meyer, so us as commentators will get an opportunity to see what Meyer requires. So it doesn't matter at this point, though, does it?
It's not. But Andy checks anyways, and it's Ether. Hopefully Andy doesn't wander into Meyer, knowing he has Ether and Samaria, to look for the Ice Rod.
He's already got 2 pendants. Just might be thinking, well, let's just collect them all.
He also just got the book. And we'll be coming over here to check the the desert rock cave for a useless item.
It looks cool though.
Alright, Andy opting to do desert now, which is the only Light World Crystal dungeon. Also entering from the Desert 1 exit, so once he checks the entirety of Desert 1, he can just mirror back to the entrance.
Oh, Mirror Shield doesn't stop the BMO shots. Dang.
Only the eye lasers.
That really is a useless item.
Yeah, Mirror Shields, it's mainly there to help get the 4 chests at the end of Turtle Rock, and that's why you get Mirror Shield in Turtle Rock, but it doesn't help too much else.
Butter Sword was at the top of Spectacle Rock. Zizio's pretty low on life. He does have that fairy, and he does seem to know where he can replenish his health here in the dungeon. Blue Mail is going to help out a lot, but the blind fight, if it gets away from him, really easy to take a lot of damage there.
Oh yeah, the Mirror Shield does reflect Wizard beams as well. I forgot about that.
Well, at least there's something.
I actually learned that from the first randomizer race. I had never seen it before, because normally I don't let Wizards stay alive for very long.
Yeah, they're pretty much always a high priority. They need to die to open a door in pretty much every case. So here's this blind fight. It did get away from him just a little bit. It's not going to be enough. He's going to be able to close out this fight, I'm sure. He says as he misses his hit, but he's dodging like a pro.
There we go. So blind down. It's another crystal for Zizio. So Andy and Zizio fairly even on crystals. Andy with the upper hand with the green pendant and Bombos. Luckily, Ice Rod is actually in a crystal dungeon, so it'll all be dependent upon when he goes to Skullwoods and whether he remembers to check the big chest.
Yeah, I think it's far more likely Andy finds the Ice Rod than bigzizio completes Hera to find Bombos. Short hop from Landmole is there, prevents Andy from getting his 1 cycle and then getting bopped by the rocks that Landmole spits out. It's going to give him a 3 cycle.
It's pretty rare to see a more than 1 or 2 cycle fight when you have both Fire Rod and the Gold Sword both killing Landmolas in 1 hit. He also had Silver Arrows, which he could have used. But
I've seen some players with both and still opt for Fire Rod. The Silver Arrows have, there's more delay to them, they lag the game a little bit, sometimes it's just enough to throw you off that you'd rather go with Old Reliable. I'm pretty sure this is Andy heading into Skullwood, so this is a pivotal moment for him. Just kidding.
he could be doing his north of Kakariko and the Dark World check for the Cape Cave and the ledge above Graveyard, which will land him a whopping heart container.
Bombos Tablet has, I believe, the 4th bottle for Zizio.
Oh, and Zizio finally heading up Death Mountain to get the gold sword. Maybe check the Aether Tablet and hopefully take a little dip into Tower of Hera. Noticing it's the green pendant could give him the thought that it has 3 items in it instead of the normal 2. And since it's pretty quick, it could be worth going in there while he's up here. So this could be pretty big.
It could be. I mean, it is. Whether he does or doesn't, this is definitely a big moment. But I don't think he's checked Turtle Rock yet, so he doesn't know Bombos is required, and that would mean he thinks he's potentially in go mode. So that half magic there from the Aether Tablet. If he's feeling that way, he might be inclined to skip these non-essential dungeons. There's him dashing right
he's
past
walking
Hera.
right by Hera. That is unfortunate.
It's not over yet though, because he's probably going to check Turtle Rock. He's probably going to see Bombos required. No, he's not in go mode, and maybe that will influence his decision.
He's fluting, so he's doing none of the above.
This is bad. Big advantage for Andy here. Remember, Andy still needs to clear this pitfall of not forgetting to come back and check the big chest after he kills Mafia.
Making sure his counts are correct and making sure that he knows to check the big chest afterwards. Skullwoods only has 2 items. It has a lot of chests that just have small keys in them. There's the shovel. So as long as he, keeps track of what he's doing in Skullwoods, he should be fine. But you never know.
At least Hera is pretty close to Turtle Rock. So it's likely Zizio is going to do every single crystal dungeon, leave Turtle Rock for last, get up there, realize he needs Bombos, go, uh-oh, what do I do? Well, I haven't done Hera yet, so I feel like it's not as bad as it could have been, but this is definitely less than ideal for him.
Andy opting to also...
Yep.
He remembers he's getting to the statue. It's actually really interesting how much that cane block lags the room because of the movable statue and the multiple Gibdos walking around. Yes, it's a little unfortunate for Zizio having not checked Turtle Rock already. Normally, if you see that Turtle Rock or Mire are crystal dungeons, checking what a medallion they need is of fairly high priority because that determines whether you need more key items or not. But
yeah, it's a pretty big difference knowing you have every key item you need and not, because there are a lot of dungeons that are a lot slower to finish if you are checking every chest as opposed to just eliminating the boss and picking up the crystal. So when you know for sure you are in go mode, you're going to be taking the quickest route through all of those dungeons. And if you're still looking for items, that's going to cost you minutes in every single one. Well, in a couple. Alright, Andy's got the gold sword, but he's also pretty low on health, and Mothula is not dead yet.
Should do one more hit. There we go.
There's the big key. This is the moment of truth here.
Andy getting his 4th crystal. Potentially his last item. Which will also play a big part because if he does in fact get the Ice Rod now, he will be able to do Swamp Palace without checking it, which is significantly faster. Andy going back in for the lower chest, seeing he doesn't have the compass yet.
Yeah, this is a good sign if he's going back in for chests.
Yes. So this chest should be the compass, and that should hopefully key him in to go check the big chest.
He mirrors out.
He mirrors. That is
Okay.
not good.
Okay,
He's checking Master Sword. So he might be doing that before he goes and checks the big chest.
He's gonna see Quake is in the pedestal, and I think he has enough information to know that that's cute but unnecessary.
Back in the Dark World we go. And looks like we're gonna be going to check the big chest.
Phew! Zizio picking up the red mail in Swamp. Nice to have. Andy might skip that if he takes the shortest route through Swamp. So that will be at least some sort of advantage for Zizio. Here he goes. Boy, is he going to be happy to see this ice rod.
Ooh, a pixel or two too low. And there it is.
Andy's in go mode. He's going to be able to take the shortest routes through Swamp and Ice before heading to Turtle Rock. Things are looking really good for him.
At this point, it's Andy's race to lose.
The go button, it's in our heads.
The go button actually got replaced to put the mushroom on the tracker somewhere.
Yeah, with the shovel and the mushroom replaced go button and half magic. It's cool, I guess, to see it lit up. It's kind of neat. But that shovel, man, that's possibly very important to progression. Plus, I mean, people are just gonna spam go in chat, and that's good enough for me. Lamp was in Palace of Darkness, which is a really trolly place to put it. But overall, this seed has been, I would call it fair.
Yes, this seed has been relatively good. The only big thing being Bombos at Sahashala.
Fiesel, that's not your pun. You stole it. It's a good pun, but you stole it.
Wow.
All right, Zizio's got an Argus fight here. I didn't see how he tackled the puff phase.
It was a one cycle.
Nice. Andy should be getting to Argos fairly shortly because he's going to be able to zip right through Swamp Palace.
This is the first Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. Link to the Past Randomizer is relatively new within the last like 6 to 8 months. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's been a year, but it's close to being. There aren't too many big changes that are still planned for it, so we wanted to host a tournament now since the interest in the randomizer community was pretty high.
It has been, as someone who helps run the Speed Gaming channel, it's been great to see how many people are coming out and getting interested in randomizer. By the way, future versions, I think the Sahasrara block should give clues as to where items are. Pass it on. Andy also getting the 1 cycle on Argus. He's got the fire rod out. We'll see if he can get this this second phase down. Pretty tricky. 1-2 spin gets it. Oh yeah, fortune teller could give hints too. I saw someone walk into the fortune teller's hut in one of their races. Had me wondering if that was actually in the randomizer, but there was just some reason why it wasn't a good idea. But... So I forget, has Zizio checked the Turtle Rock pendant? Because I was gonna say he might think he's in go mode, but he explored every chest in Swamp, so I don't think that's where his head is at. Then again, he's going straight through Ice Palace. There's a lot of ways to approach exploring Ice Palace, though, so I'm not sure if he's intent on getting every chest here or if he's going straight to the boss. Both players doing that nifty 1-bomb kill on both Stalfos. Zizio didn't have too much trouble with the bomb jump. We'll see how it goes for Andy.
Bomb jump not too difficult.
Zizio is checking chests here in Ice Palace.
Yeah, Ice Palace, only 3 possible chests, and it's quite a long dungeon to check thoroughly.
It could be that, oh, nice. He finds the magic powder. I was gonna say, it could be that he's interested in a safety item like powder. Well, another chance to hookshot through the block hits at that time. And while Andy's doing the cold stare fight, gets away from him a little bit, but Buttersword's gonna be able to let him just kind of knock these things around. Nice cleanup from him. Zizio perhaps knows there's only a 33% chance he has the medallion he needs to get into Turtle Rock. That's enough for him to start checking chests. Maybe he wants a safety item. Or maybe he's not comfortable doing Palace of Darkness without the lantern, and that's what he's looking for.
I feel like he's putting off Palace of Darkness this long because of that reason, but...
A better Cold Star fight for him.
So Andy making his way to his last crystal dungeon, Turtle Rock. bigzizio with 5 crystals now, but a severe lack of items in the lamp and bombos.
Yeah, he is clearly not down with Palace of Darkness without the lantern. And doing Turtle Rock at this point also sucks. If you not sure about the medallion. So he's going to opt to check a bunch of overworld locations. And every moment he spends not going to Tower of Hera or Palace of Darkness is going to be just him spinning his wheels here.
Yeah, Andy had a really good time in his first seed, the first sub 130 of the tournament, and another fast one is looking like here. It won't be a sub 130 this time, but it could be a relatively quick seed depending upon how early he gets the big key in this dungeon and in Ganon's Tower.
bigzizio got magic powder in Ice Palace, and as Andy already had all the required items, he did not opt to check all the chests there, so Andy missed it. He's going to be powderless moving on, but he's got a lot of hearts. He's got the blue mail. He's also not going to get the red mail. He left that behind in the swamp, so the end game's going to be a little bit harder for him, but he's so far ahead. Even if he has a death or two, he's going to be sitting pretty here. Bold prediction from Spenko J Frog that Andy's going to be sub 135. He's going to need to get really lucky with keys in both of these dungeons to pull that off. Chain Chomp Room going beautifully. And bigzizio's in Palace of Darkness. He doesn't have the lamp. We're pretty sure he's worried about that. But the lantern is waiting for him here. He's going to be really glad when he finds it. Guess is already coming out for where the big key is in Ganon's Tower. My lucky number is 19. It's actually not so lucky a number, considering the number of chests in Ganon's Tower. But if all you care about is being right, and I know I do, then I'm sticking with 19. Still no big key for Andy. Still no lantern for big Andy. Nice double pokey room for Andy.
I don't know where Andy's going.
Yeah, I saw him go left here, and I was like, I don't even know what's over here.
This is where you can check the ROM hack room if you mirror before that door. And
oh, he does have the
chest. Yes, he does. Ooh, there's a small key in that chest. Interesting. So he did actually have to go over there.
He's 1 step ahead of you, 2 steps ahead of me.
I actually didn't know that chest could have a small key in it. That was probably from older version where small keys weren't allowed to be in big chests.
I think that was the lantern chest for bigzizio.
Yes.
So he immediately heads down into the darkness. Andy accidentally triggering the switch twice. Also worth noting that King of Samaria, they got all the way at the beginning of the game in Link's house, has only, as of a couple minutes ago, actually been required.
Andy doing the backdoor quick kill on Trinex. With the gold sword, if you do it like that, you actually skip the middle head attack animation if you do it properly.
I believe they call that the 0 cycle.
Unfortunately, that is not doable with the tempered sword, but you can still get it to only 1 middle head attack with the tempered sword.
So that is Andy's 7th crystal. Like many players, he's left Turtle Rock for last, so he's just a short jaunt away from Ganon's tower.
Meanwhile, bigzizio getting pretty close to finishing his 6th crystal, but still missing Bombos.
Yeah, that Bombos is going to be really elusive. But like I said, there's a good chance Zizio heads straight to Turtle Rock. Checks the medallion, sees he doesn't have it, and then thinks, okay, where do I go from here? And then Hera is, got a lot of items, and it's pretty close. So I think there's a good chance that he goes over there next. It's not going to help him beat Andy. It's going to be way too late. But, I mean, you always want to do your best anyway, so...
Right,
last thing you want.
Everybody. How many chests until AND4H gets the big key Ganon's tower? Pick a number between 1 and 22. 19. There are 22 chests in the lower section of Ganon's tower. Any one of them is just as likely to contain the big key as any other. Alright, so number 3 was the arrow on the torch right there. Meanwhile, bigzizio hammering off the best linebacker in the NFL's mask.
I hear Ganon's thinking about trading Helmarock.
There's 5 chests, 6 chests, and 7 chests. Still no big key. I don't know if I should count the torch since he didn't actually pick up the arrow upgrade. What do you think?
No, yes. Let's count it.
All right, so that makes that chest 9. There's 5 more chests, 6 more chests pre-Armos, and then there's 3 more after Armos before we get to see the rare East Wing.
The East Wing has reached a legendary status now. Once it happened in a couple of races, people became absolutely fixated on it. They're like, what, are they going to go to the right side first? Like, well, no, that would be a bad idea. The odds are overwhelmingly favoring the left side. But everyone always wants to see it, and it seems players included sometimes. We have actually seen some players opt to go right side first. Not gonna see it this time.
Chest number 10. Still opening some chests to get a small key, which he does, and we're out of there. So if you head upstairs with one small key, there is another guaranteed upstairs that you can get, but you have to kill a mini Helmasaur in a room with spikes and 2 fireball shooters. So getting that extra small key saved him a little bit of time. Was it 11? I can't count.
Yeah, I was relying on you for the number too. All right, 11 it is. Seems to be the consensus.
See, chat is saying it was 10 as well, so
now,
maybe I can count. Maybe I'm getting lied to.
This is bad.
When has a Twitch chat ever lied, though? Let's be honest.
Never. Not even once. Not even a little. They were just joking all those other times. See, normally in this situation, the chat would turn to some kind of authority to make a decision, and I would assume that's us as the commentators, but we're both looking at them. So now no one knows. Is it 10? Is it 11? This is going to be a controversial topic, debated for the next 5 minutes.
Heading into Eastern, which is a pendant dungeon, just not the right pendant dungeon.
So he is acting like he knows he does not have the medallion required to open Turtle Rock.
Andy making fairly quick work of the gauntlet.
Going with Fire Rod again. Gets it this time.
Magic? He didn't... I don't know if he has his... He definitely used his blue potion. He bought another red potion, but at the moment his magic is a little low. He will have to be fairly careful in the upcoming torch room. He used a little bit too much magic. So at the moment he has enough for 1 fire rod or 4 lamp uses. There are 4 torches, so it looks like he's gonna opt to lamp everything possibly. Just can only miss 1 lamp.
Oh, he's moving.
Alright.
Fire Rod.
See if he gets it. It is a little scary with that little magic. If you happen to lamp too early or turn before you lamp and you miss 1 or 2, you won't be able to actually light all the torches in that room.
And there's not really a good way to get magic. I think it was it was the GDQ race. I think it was Cypher. Yep. Maybe not a race, but
AGDQ 2013.
Yeah.
Where Cypher actually had enough magic but didn't think he did.
Oh, that's even worse.
And got informed on the couch from the couch that he didn't have enough magic. So he ended up mirroring. That was an unfortunate circumstance.
So here's where we learn AND4H is not Andy. He's a different Andy, so he's not going to hover past Moldorm. He's going to pick up the easy 2-hit kill and hookshot on over there. Pretty solid Ganon's tower from him. We'll see how his Agahnim 2 fight goes. This is a tricky fight to optimize. 2 hits per cycle is pretty good. Oh, I was hoping to keep things PG, but All right, stop it. He's still. Oh man. Okay. Andy's got Agahnim down. He's got. I'm not gonna say it. So he's moving on to the Ganon fight. Whereas bigzizio picks up his blue pendant. It's not the right color.
Ganon, not too difficult with the gold sword. 6 slashes per phase. You can get in and get out pretty easily.
And he gets
taking
hit
a lot of damage
times,
and dying to 4
Wombo
fire bat
combo.
hits. Luckily having a fairy, but wow. Just when you think you're in the clear.
Someone take that much damage that quickly before. That was pretty incredible.
That was amazing, actually. And actual physical body contact with Ganon is, believe it or not, the most damaging thing in this game. With Green Mail, it does 8 full hearts of damage. So some final bosses are pushovers, but this this is not one of them. And Andy finishing up with the last arrow hit. As long as he doesn't decide to fall off, he is in the clear.
bigzizio has found his way to Hera. As long as he clears it out, and I don't see any reason why he wouldn't, he is going to stumble across that troublesome Bombos item he needs to get into Turtle Rock. But meanwhile, like you said, Andy, finishing it off, that 135 prediction, not too far off, with a very, very solid time of 136.39. Andy and 4H, Andy with a 4, is finishing in first place. That was a really solid showing from him.
Really solid seed. Wasn't the best seed, wasn't the worst seed, but the bad parts of the seed were not that bad overall.
Zizio has the hookshot, but opts to do the bomb jump in Hera.
Alright, I'm gonna pull Andy here for a little post race. Welcome, better Andy.
It's always hiding. But then I went back to that chest. I knew there was an item in Skullwood still, so I'm like, I should probably go back for this. I don't actually know. So
You had me scared for a second when you went to check the pedestal first.
Oh no, I went back for the chest.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So right on the initial mirror, I was like, uh-oh.
Well, I already had 2 pendants at that point. I was like, I might as well see if this is worth it.
Speaking of pendants, Zizio just finished Hera, just picked up the green pendant, which we learned later was a required item.
I'm glad I checked a day or 2. Like, I always do Hera on principle because it's so short and easy. And
Yeah.
like, alright, whatever, I'm going through the Death Mountain regardless, so maybe I'll get the book or something.
Yeah, you went up to Death Mountain much earlier, the second time around once you got the mirror and things like that.
Because I know I can check all of Death Mountain and all of Death Mountain Dark and Light World at that point. There's like a million chests, so might as well go, right?
Yeah, Zizio went up to... Ooh,
So
Zizio
yeah, this is
going
bad.
to Misery Mire before going to Sahasrara. That is not good.
This is an entire extra dungeon for him.
Completely unnecessary. But yeah, so he went up to check Eastside Dead Mountain before you, and then bailed. and then didn't get the butter sword for quite a while after he had the mirror. And then when he went up there, he checked the ether tablet and then just went right by Hera, and then ended up leaving the mountain. So he Hera's in that situation. Hera is not a bad play at all. It's a very quick dungeon. So your routing was pretty good overall.
Yeah, I made a few mistakes here and there, but I'm not too upset.
Speaking of mistakes, I think you set the record for damage taken per second.
Oh, probably. Also, probably bonks. Average bonks are probably through the roof now. I did so many bonks, and I got hit by everything.
Yeah, that was it took some effort to die in that Ganon bat phase.
I got hit by 4 bats. 4. Oh, that was pretty good. I knew I had fairies, so it didn't bother me, but I just kind of facepalmed pretty hard. Oh, I facepalmed extra hard when I was doing Palace of Darkness basement without the lamp, and then I realized that the chest was like...
it was one room away.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
The chest was a few pixels off the wall, so I couldn't open it, and also the lamp was right next to it.
Yeah, with the I was looking at Zizio when you wandered into the dark room, and the way you were like moving around, it made it seem like you were in the maze.
I was. And
then I had no idea where you were going, and then realized that you were actually just in the repeat basement.
Couldn't find the chest.
But yeah, the right chest you can open up flush against the wall. The left chest you just have to like hold upright for like a frame at minimum before you can open the chest.
I
So
understand.
it's not too bad once you know that.
Many face bombs were I had that day. I gotta see how many bonks I had. I had a lot. I'm guessing like mid 40s, low 50s at this point.
Alright, so we actually don't have any more Link to the Past races until that's CST. 7 p.m. Eastern.
What?
No.
That's 5 hours without a Link to the Past randomizer?
7 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 races at 7 p.m. Eastern, actually. One will be on Speedrun's live Twitch channel, one will be right here on Speed Gaming. Speed Gaming will be New Life versus Iggy Dota, and the one on Speedrun's live will be Sakura Tsubasa versus Dark. Let me take a look and see what else we have planned for the day.
Well, I happen to know one of the reasons why there's such a big gap is because get ready for this. It's not a Link to the Past, but you know what? Ocarina of Time, I think, is the favorite. Is the Zelda game in the speedrun community. I don't know. I don't know what the consensus is in the speedrun community. But generally, if you ask someone what the best Zelda game is, they're going to say Link to the Past, or they're going to say Ocarina of Time. I'm in camp Ocarina of Time, personally, so I am super happy to see the Ocarina of Time Championship Series Finals happening in just 1 hour here on Speed Gaming.
And then after that, at 6 p.m., we have a Mega Man 3 race.
There's the number of bonks. Ugh.
And then we resume with a Link to the Past for the rest of the evening. So there's a lot more content on this channel. Should be pretty exciting.
I'm in that Mega Man 3. You're gonna see me tilt.
You spent too much time on the randomizer.
34 seconds in item menu. I'm learning from the best.
So we're now seeing number of bonks 41.
41 bonks. That is unfortunate.
Well, I mean, the boots were like in Escape, right?
Yeah,
So
they were pretty
Boots
early.
and pits were in Escape. That was ridiculous. It was like, oh my god.
334 item menu time as well. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby, other Andy.
Thanks, man. The menu time wasn't bad. My movement was abysmal. My routing was fine. The menus were fine. My actual movement, no idea what I'm doing.
Well, Andy's pretty... Well, both Andys are rather critical of themselves. I believe Andy said any menu time over 3 minutes, and he's like...
Yep.
Yeah, he said that. I listened to that interview.
Because I'm looking at a 136.39 on the timer, and I'm thinking, no matter what, that's a pretty good run.
It's a pretty good time.
I got lucky still. Like, I'm getting lucky in a lot of places. There's still a lot of places I didn't check. Like, I only checked like 140 locations if you look at the stats. There's like another 70 that I didn't look at all because I didn't go to Swamp Palace at all until I had everything.
Yeah. Overall, a very manageable seed. The one troll bit with Green Pen and having Bombos, not necessarily as trolly as you think.
Again, because Hera is not a problem to go to.
Yeah, but it has certainly got the best of Zizio here. He's spent the last 2 or 3 minutes in Misery Mire.
He's actually killed Vitreous already.
Yeah, Vitreous is dead. He's still here. He's still checking items, and now he's leaving, and he probably doesn't feel great.
My next routing decision, if I didn't get Ice Run in school, I was actually gonna grab Purple Chest. I was gonna walk it to the Sacred Grove because I had a shovel, and then I was gonna check Bombo's tablet. That was my next play. But then I forgot earlier.
He's now going to check Sahasrahla, so bigzizio should be in go mode in the next 30 seconds or so.
Yep, he's gonna. Well, there was a theory in chat that Zizio's not aware that the medallion requirements for the dungeons are randomized, which would explain why he was looking for Bombos, or looking for a medallion, rather, without having actually checked Turtle Rock. So if he's got Bombos now, and if that theory is true, he still feels like he needs Quake.
I guess.
But I think he knows Master Sword is Quake, though. So
he knows Master Sword is Quake, so he would have just not gone to Sahasrahla at all. And also not checked the dungeons, because that's the last item he needs. He would have just done the pendant dungeons to do them.
Yeah, so I've got a pretty good feeling that he knew it was Bombos and we missed it.
It looks like he's making his way towards Turtle Rock, so he should be well on his way.
But we're gonna close out with Zizio going through a couple dungeons here. Andy, who has been bestowed with the name Better Andy by real Andy. Andy AND4H. Congratulations and good luck later on in, I guess, Mega Man, but also in other tournaments as well.
Dude, thanks for having me, folks. It's fun. Dude, this tournament's so much fun. I can't get enough of it. I've been watching like every race. And...
Yep, same. I had to get one of the Andys to show me how to play because I just wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, I actually really wanted. I really was enjoying that too. I was watching that because it means Miz can learn, it means he can commentate, and it means he can drag me for commentation.
So look forward to seeing both of us on the mic in the future.
See ya, folks. Bye.
Bye. So Zizio is into Turtle Rock. He's got everything he needs. So he's looking for keys, basically. This is a good time to remind people that you can follow the runners. And you should especially follow bigzizio, because his notifications are turned on. And that means you get to kind of troll 1,000 people or so. So if that's the kind of thing that gets you going, you can click that link and follow Zizio. You can also follow our winner for today, AND4H. I happen to know that along with Mega Man 3 and Link to the Past Randomizer, Andy plays Bubble Bobble. He has the record in that. And he's also a pretty good blind player as well. 3-time mystery tournament winner. Looking for 4-time, actually. He's still in the winner's bracket of the very prestigious Mystery Tournament X. So he's good at games. You can follow him. Or you can follow bigzizio and get that zombie on screen for all of us to see. I actually don't have audio on my commentary view, so it's entirely possible that we've switched to his audio and some stupid audio notification goes off every single time. In which case, I apologize to Feasel for encouraging the sort of behavior that I did. I have been informed that this is exactly the case. Okay. So, you guys are monsters, I guess is what I'm saying, and I'm one of them. Here we go. Look at this zombie. He's doing a thing. Meanwhile, he's doing well in Turtle Rock here. By the way, your name shows up, by the way. This is not an anonymous trolling procedure. Everyone knows exactly who you are when you do it. Green linen shirt, come on now. We saw Trick Man earlier. I mean, you gotta keep things interesting here with this wrap-up. Airbomb 2124, shame on you. I realize how hypocritical it is of me to do this after encouraging you guys to go follow the runner. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Matrellin, disappointed. Zizio skipping that chest. I haven't been paying attention to the key situation. Oh, he's gonna go back. I was wondering if maybe he was just kind of gambling on like, that chest sucks, I'd rather just not check it. But he's gonna go back, he's gonna get the compass, he's gonna slash a little bit in frustration that he came back for the compass. No, Dan, don't purposefully leave up your notifications. It's funny once. Mirai-kun, you should know better. Kermit 11, how could you? Oh, Zizio knocked off immediately. Ketos, what would your mother say? Putting that mirror shield to use. If you got it, use it. Kristoff 57 is now following and trolling. Haikyuu type. I like your name, but you shouldn't have. More frustration slashes from bigzizio. Dexerian, come on now. You're a commentator. You're a role model here. No, they're not trolling the runner. They're trolling us by having his notifications play on stream. I think it's actually awesome that people are following him. Maybe not for the right reasons. But they are. So a mixed bag here. ZJ Player, he's down with bigzizio. Oh god, he's hosting too. This is just, I'm just really disappointed. Vix is following. There's his name on there. Everyone knows exactly what he just did. All right, so bigzizio, I believe, is making his way back to the big chest. He, perhaps like Andy, Andy commentator, not Andy AND4H, didn't know big chest could have a small key. They say good things come in small packages. Sometimes small things come in big packages. So here he is, finally making his way. Oh, this is the block. He's gonna push that block outside. Look at, I haven't even been able to keep up with all these names. Astrolon, come on now. I don't know if this is one of those Sideshow Bob stepping on the rake situations where it just gets funnier and funnier, and then it gets not so funny, and then it gets funny again. I think we're in that lull. I think every time I see this, I'm in the lull where I'm like, it's just not funny anymore. And then, you know, maybe we'll get there. Maybe before bigzizio gets through Turtle Rock and goes through Ganon's Tower, maybe it'll be funny again. But until then, Darkest Phoenix, shame on you.
Hi, I'm back.
You missed Zizio missing the big chest.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so he's gone back for it. He's got it. He's got the keys he needs. Commentators, I'm Mythical Mine. Joining me is Andy.
Hello,
yep.
I'm Andy. I was here for most of the race.
Things happen. It's a long race. Sometimes you need to eat, take care of children. You know, somewhat important things. Zizio is finally getting the Trinex here. I'm not even gonna... Just gonna let that one go. Trinex is down. Frame rate's dropping a little bit. I guess the following notifications a little too much for a stream to handle. He's got that last crystal. Oh, does he have the net? I will mark that off. I don't think he got the cape, though. I forget where that was. Alright, we know where the key is. In Ganon's Tower. Let's count again. Let's get the right count this time. That's 1. And that's 2. I just realized this is going to encourage people to leave their notifications on in future races. They're going to be like, whoa, you get a big follower boost when you leave your notifications on. This is a problem. I was trying to have some fun, but I think I've started a real... Let's, okay, key number... I've lost track. I have the key... The torch is 3, so that's 4, 5, 6, and 7 right there.
Yes.
And From now on, we will be checking notifications before.
I've had to. Well, it started with me doing a masochist seed for SNES Superstars, and like right off the bat, my sub notification went off like right when the run started.
Well, the ultimate in sub notification hilarity was Irregular Ginny.
Oh God!
Playing Mega Man X something 3, I think.
Yeah, probably 3.
If you follow Irregular Ginny, you will hear a notification, a rather loud one, that is approximately 20 seconds of the intro to the Mega Man TV show, Super Fighting Robot, Mega Man.
Oh my goodness.
If there's anyone in the... Alright, there's the big key for Zizio. We're just gonna say it's 10. Chest number 10. Yeah, I'm gonna unfollow everyone in the tournament. And then before every race, I'm gonna follow everyone. And if I see that notification, it'll be addressed. And then that's it. And then everything's taken care of. 10 it is. 10th chest. If you said 11... and we mailed you your share of the prize money, you have to give it back. It goes to the people who said 10. Your money's in the mail. That's not true. There's no money. Mimic's giving Zizio a little bit of trouble, but the mirror shield helps out.
Shoutouts to my boy Poo Poo Man 6912.
Yeah, 69, we all know what that is. 12 is how old he is.
As resembled by the name Poo Poo Man.
Chugging that blue potion pretty early there. We'll see what he can do in the gauntlet. Stalfo's giving him some trouble. He's got those silver arrows out, but sniping a skeleton from far away, also not very easy. And for whatever reason, pots do so much damage in this game. It's actually a pretty safe and reliable strat to pick up a pot and throw it at whatever's giving you trouble. Horseman tried to get away there in Gauntlet 3, I believe that room is. I like how they just start adding more and more ice. Oh, that was 4. So there's the Gauntlet. Into Land Mole is 2. He's got the Fire Rod out, and he's got half magic. So, unlike Andy getting into a bit of a crunch, he is going to be able to just unload. Does miss that one hit there.
He did get a double hit on 2 of the Land Molas. But the way the Fire Rod hitbox works, you can actually hit 2 Land Molas with 1 Fire Rod if the heads end up crossing paths.
Misses the Wizrobe. Using the Cane of Samarian to take out 3 enemies is one of my favorite strategies. What? Alright, tanks the firebar hit. Not that time, though. But it moves him to the door, so, you know, maybe even intentional, I don't know. Doesn't bother to pick up the magic refill. And boy, he might regret that now. Throwing fire every which way. Barely has enough to get the torches lit.
He's also short a key, so he has to get this mini helmet key, which he decides to skip.
We'll see how that works out. Picking up the bomb that he threw too far. Knows if he throws it, it's going to go too far, so he holds onto it and carries it to the cracked wall, eats the explosion, but does get the wall open.
Got the magic, got the fairy, realizing he doesn't have a key.
Is it in there? No, it's not.
Hopefully he doesn't panic too much and knows that there's a key in the mini helmet.
Oh, I wonder why he's so nervous. Maybe it's because his notifications have been going off for 20 minutes. You monsters. Alright, he's got his key.
There it is.
Hold on. Charging right at him. Into Agahnim 2. He drank a potion while in Ganon's tower, but I think he's got 2 fairies.
He has at
red
least
mail,
one.
yeah, gold sword. He's looking pretty good.
So that should be 2 hits, unfortunately. If you hit Agahnim 2 with the yellow shots, if 2 of them hit him at the same time, it'll actually only count as 1 hit. Alright, and he's down.
No, I hadn't seen that that Ganon message before.
Yeah. Alright, like I said earlier, oh my goodness. I did not get enough sleep last night. That's what I get for staying up until 5 when I said I would commentate at 11.
I purposely went straight to bed at around 3 because I knew I was going to be commentating.
But, like I said earlier, 6 slashes per cycle. Or per phase. Phase 2 actually starts once Ganon starts spinning his trident to form the fire bat ring.
Bigzizio doing his best to match Andy's impressive
Damage taking ability.
Yeah. So he's down to 1. He's got those fairies, and he's already into the last phase here. So I don't think he's even going to need him. See if he can land one of these double hits. That one might be... No.
So double hits, you need to make sure you hit him A, not too long after you freeze him, and B, he can't hit a torch or a ledge. Otherwise, he immediately teleports.
So he missed Torch Glitch, but he had tons of magic, and also just very proficient at the fight. Gets Ganon down. No problem.
Typically, it's actually slower to get the Torch Glitch in with the Silver Arrow and Gold Sword Ganon fight. But it depends upon RNG. Anyways, GG's to Zizio. He has not done yet.
He's probably turning off his notifications before the done.
He typed in the SRL channel, God, I know.
Oh. I forgot. I didn't tell him this. I knew it was his first time And I was like, yeah, you do .join, and then you do .ready, and then there was a thing in my head that was like, tell him about .done. He needs to know about .done. And I didn't. So, his time's
I
gonna be...
believe in you, bigzizio. I believe. Please. There we go.
Okay.
bigzizio with the SRL official time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 32 seconds. GG's to him. Let me see if he wants to come in for a little chat real quick.
Yeah, that's really not a bad time considering he did every dungeon. Alright, welcome, bigzizio. Not hearing any audio from him yet. But he's not muted, so maybe the wrong input device selected on Discord. Might also just have to set up voice stuff for Discord. Who knows? It's like frantically unplugging and replugging a headset somewhere. Also, a reminder that we don't have any Link to the Past for a couple hours, but coming up next, right on here on this channel, is the Ocarina of Time Championship Finals, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, so in about 20 minutes. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's kind of similar to Randomizer. The item's not randomized, but the players are given a goal. And it's a weird goal. It's a sort of puzzly goal, and they don't know what it is ahead of time. So they have to think on their feet, like you do in Randomizer, and try to route out the best way to complete the goal. And it's been great to see.
Hello.
Hey, we got audio. How you doing, bigzizio?
Oh man, this was a hard one. I think I checked everything.
You did. There's a big time discrepancy between your time and Andy's time, but you did every dungeon. So
yeah. I check everything because I forgot that I have the green pendant. So.
Oh yeah, that was a heartbreaker when we saw you going into Mire after getting the green pendant.
That was the big thing. What was the Andy time?
He got a 1:36:39.
Yep.
He went into Hera early, and cashed in the green pendant. Had the bombos, and that was the thing. Basically, he was in go mode much earlier on because of that. You know, he went straight through swamp, straight through ice. Didn't have to check all the chests there. He didn't go up to Death Mountain until he already had the mirror. So he got the sword, went into Hera. Ended up getting the green pendant from there, and then checked east side of Death Mountain all at the same time.
Well, that was fun at least.
Well, that's good.
You did a pretty solid job. You were keeping up with Andy for the most part early on. So it was pretty close until the routes kind of separated a little bit.
Yeah, I just need to. I I saw that I'm making mistake. I am going somewhere, doing something, and there's more to do, but I like just save and quit, do somewhere else. Too much. Anyway.
Have you done many? This was your first SRL race, right?
Yeah, this was the first one.
So what was that like?
It was fun. I was a little bit stressed, but
Yeah. Well, it's good that you're able to have some fun. It's a weird. It's kind of intimidating. You're like, there's these commands, and I don't quite know what's going on. It's another layer of stuff you have to worry about on top of all the stuff all the plates you're spinning when you do a randomizer. But it gets easier. It does get easier each time. So your next couple of matches in the tournament, I think, are going to go a little more smoothly for you overall.
Yeah, I have my next one tonight at 9 p.m. EST. Two in the same day.
Well,
So,
all right.
Yeah, I think that's it. I just want to say I have like a super big follow train. Just want to say thank you to everyone.
Well, that was my fault with the notifications on stream.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to you guys for
Yeah.
commentating and everything. So, thank you.
All right. Thanks so much to bigzizio.
Okay, thank you.
He'll be back later today with another race, but before then, we got some Mega Man 3 coming up, and before that, happening in just 15 minutes or so, is the Ocarina of Time Championship Series. This is the finals. They've been doing this for a while. They're all the way down to the finals. I wish I could remember the last two who are going to be competing, because I saw the round before that where it was the last three competing. But someone in chat will help me out for sure. But it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Even the top players are not always able to figure out, the optimal route. So there's a lot of questions get asked and answered. And sometimes the goals are so weird that it trips people up, even top players. There was a goal where you couldn't open a chest unless it was a small key chest. And we had a player just go straight to Kokiri's sword at the beginning like you always do, and he opened the chest and then went, damn it, and had to reset. We saw people open 4 chests that they weren't allowed to open and had to keep resetting every time they did. So the goals are really creative. It forces players to do some really creative things. I'm hugely looking forward to seeing it, so I encourage you guys to stick around and check that out. That's going to be happening for the next 3 hours or so on the schedule. So I think it's a best of 3, maybe 5 situation, or maybe it's just a massive goal they have planned. I'm not sure of the details, unfortunately. But that's coming up next. You should check it out.
In terms of Link to the Past Randomizer, we have 3 double races tonight, both here and on Speedruns Live, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you want some Link to the Past Randomizer, tonight's your night.
Yep, it can be pretty tricky to follow 2 things on 2 different streams. So the bravest of you will multi-twitch both. And maybe the rest of you will choose your allegiance or follow your favorite commentator or runner. But you got options. So we're going to move into that now. I'm Mythical 9. Joining me on commentary and carrying me through commentary has been Andy.
Hi, that's me.
That's you.
Be sure to follow Mythical 9 on Twitch to set off his follower train as well.
I don't have one actually, so go ahead, do your worst. Thanks to Andy and Zizio for the race. It was a good one. Yeah, we already did all our plugs. That's everything. So stay tuned for Ocarina of Time Championship Series. We're out.
Adios, everybody.